I not let myself know I am enough? That was the foundation of why I started to go to therapy. And I found the answer. Hey y'all. So I just had my first therapy session and it was really good. I mean, clearly I'm like over here smiling and grinning. Um, like I went into it very worried about anyway, I went into it very worried about, my words being misunderstood or misinterpreted. Um, you know, just this like, I am not being heard for what I'm trying to say. And I immediately voiced that in the beginning. And I would like highly suggest anybody who is considering starting therapy or about to start therapy or something like that, like if you have any concerns, like during the first meeting with that person, voice those concerns. And I would also say, think about how you feel after that first meeting. And if you feel any reserves about this person, don't go back to them. Like, find a new person. It is really important for you to have that like initial comfort with your therapist because they are like learning in-depth things about you. Like you're going into this relationship or this interaction with this person with an understanding that you're going to be honest, you're going to be transparent, and it's just this understanding of openness that you're going to have with this person. And like it's weird because you go into relationships with intentions all the time, but I don't think I've ever gone into a relationship with someone off bat knowing that, I'm not gonna lie, like about nothing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest. Um, and, you would think that, we go into our relationships with that intention, right? But I don't know. I don't always think about that when I first meet someone. Like, I don't think about what are my intentions in this relationship, in this engagement with a person. I think about a friend where, oh, you're someone who I just met. How are you? I don't really think about the level of openness I'm going to have with this person or the transparency that I'm going to have with this person, the type of vulnerability I'm going to have with this person. And having that intention just laid out at the beginning of the interaction and me laying out my personal reservations in the interaction and my concerns in the interaction, it led for a much better conversation. Yeah, just sharing knowledge and information, and it was really a time where I got to share my experiences and ask my questions about my own inner workings, and I got someone to give me what the terminology is behind what my actions are. And it was just really nice. You don't have to go to therapy if you feel like you got something wrong. You can just want to go to therapy to say, hey, I am stressed out about the amount of work I have to do at home. And if you don't have anybody else in your life that is willing to listen to you voice those types of concerns, then a therapist is a great person to go to and to communicate with. Now, when it gets to those deeper understanding of like psychological works and things like that, you're going to want to go to a therapist because sometimes, unless you just have a very well educated friend who knows good at listening and is good at identifying things and they know a little bit about psychology, who can actually let you know, okay, this may be what you're going through. You're probably going to want to go to therapy. I actually learned what the definition of resilience is. I mean, I've been called resilient. I know that resilience is your ability to overcome and overcome trials, struggles, and how well you adapt in that overcoming. But for the first time, I was able to tie, so I've come to really dislike the idea of me being resilient because it's always been tied to me being a Black woman in STEM, a Black woman in higher education, a Black woman who is just doing fairly well in life. But for once, I was able to tie this idea, this term of resilience to something that was not related to my Blackness. And for me, that was big. That was very nice. Though I know that I am not just a Black person, right? In today's world, society, we know that a lot of emphasis is put on the fact that I am a Black woman. And so to have this discussion and not have this idea of being resilient tied to my Blackness, but being tied to just, you were a resilient kid. Like anybody who was put in the situation that I was put in can be termed as being resilient. And that ability to pair some of the things that people try to just say that only Black people do, or that people just try to pair to a specific identity, is freeing to me because of just the fact that I'm not just a Black person. I am a Black person, or like I am a melanated person, or I am an African American person, but I'm also other things. So yeah, say all that to say, go to therapy. Go talk to somebody who can help reshape, some of your thoughts on things, can help give you a deeper understanding of yourself. I just love to understand me, and I love to understand why I do what I do and what drives me. And I don't think I'll ever get tired of wanting to know myself. See ya. And I just want to know that we didn't even talk about the resiliency the whole time. Like literally, she said one sentence, well, two sentences. So she told me like what it means to be resilient and how I embody resiliency, and then that was it. So like that wasn't even what the conversation was about, and that was the biggest thing that I myself took from it. So anybody can go to therapy. Therapy is just like you need fresh breath. Like, you don't want that funky breath. You need therapy. Therapy is for anybody and everybody. I'm coming home, coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home. Let the rain wash away all the pain of yesterday. I know my kingdom awaits, and they've forgiven my mistakes. I'm coming home, coming home. Tell the world I'm coming. What's up, y'all? That is how I am feeling after today's therapy session. We kind of did a wrap up to the background information about me for my therapist, and it was vulnerable without the fear of being vulnerable. Like I said before, that in going into a relationship, being intentional, like knowing that you're going to share and you're just going to not have any walls up, you're going to be honest because this person isn't judging you. And just knowing that that person is not judging you, right? Because it's their job not to judge you. So it was refreshing. It was really nice to just be in that space. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not as excited this week as what I was last week, but this week was a little bit more personal. I can say that the issue that I hold with race or my race and me being considered strong and resilient is starting to disassociate from each other. Just realizing that I am a strong individual, not because of my race, but just because that's who I am as a person, and that everything about me does not have to be tied to my race. So until next week. This week's therapy session was good. It was liberating. I did get teary-eyed and cry a little bit, but it was good. We talked about some things and talked through some things. I felt seen. But the only reason I felt seen was because I allowed myself to be seen. So yeah, you know what? That is the thing. You get out of therapy just as much as you put in. So if you put all of yourself in, you get a lot back out, kind of thing. So it was good. Today's session was quite insightful. Oh my gosh, so insightful. So, one of the things that we really talked about and hit home on is my ability to gauge the room. And I'm also reading mastery. So all of this is just tying into a space and a place that, so in Mastery by Robert Greene, he talks about the importance of having social intelligence and, knowing that there's a difference between social intelligence and emotional intelligence. And you can have all the emotional intelligence in the world, but you may not have social intelligence. And social intelligence involves being able to read the room. It involves being able to meet the needs of others. And I would add and say that, you have to have, it's more beneficial for you to have emotional intelligence and then social intelligence over having social intelligence without the emotional intelligence. And I think that there's a difference, right? You can not know how to cater to yourself, but know how to cater to everybody around you. And getting back to the point though, just I had never came to an experience where I realized and I could actually pinpoint my ability to have social intelligence and being able to read the people who I'm around. But I do it all the time. And that's what just makes it so funny to me is I know how to interact with people, but for some reason I never perceived it as me having the ability to be socially intelligent and navigate the world around me based off of the fact that I can read the people and read a room. So we really talked about how when you have been wounded, right? Like if you have a wound and you lose your ability to be socially intelligent, or at least, well, let me not say lose the ability, but I was wounded and I had some holes in my ability to be socially intelligent. And through the healing, I'm regaining that full ability to be socially intelligent. But it requires a level of emotional intelligence to realize that social intelligence. This was good to me. It was good to me. I know that this recap was all over the place, but for me, it just makes so much sense. So until next week. Well, actually, I'm taking a week off, so until 2 weeks from now. But this was good. I think this one, well, I'm not even going to sit here and say I think this one was the best one yet because we still got week 6 and it has really just been a tremendous, eye-opening, insightful experience for me. And actually, I take that back, not week 5, session 5, because I haven't even been going every single week. But when I started this, so the reason why I even started this, my hair, this is a 2-week twist style. I'm gonna take it down today actually because the twist out ain't rocking well no more. But I started out this journey asking, why am I alone not enough? Why do I feel like I need external reasonings, external validations, external things to let me know that I am enough? Why can I not let myself know I am enough? That was the foundation of why I started to go to therapy. And I found the answer. And I got the opportunity to discuss this with my therapist. And I got the opportunity to come up with some things, actionable steps that I know I can do, things that I have practiced in other areas of my life, or through other experiences. So this week was good. I got the answer that I was seeking. Well, today was my 6th session in therapy, my 6th and last session in therapy, and it was good to me. I wanted this last session to be a recap session where we just talked about and reviewed things that we've discussed through the past 6 sessions. And we ended up spending most of the session talking about this block that I was feeling in understanding how to navigate a relationship that I have with someone. We landed on this idea of that inner child that we all have, and something that was really insightful, something that I had been wondering about and just always forget to ask is whether or not that child ever grows up, or do we just always exist to have that inner child in us? And the perfectionist in me, the people pleaser that exists in me exists within that little child. And every now and then, it gets triggered. I said that I am a recovering perfectionist, a recovering people pleaser, but it was very helpful to recognize where that piece lives within me. And, every day is a day of healing. Every day is one step to becoming your authentic self. There's probably tons of more topics that I could have discussed with my therapist, but ultimately you just keep figuring things out and you navigate them and you talk to people as you need to talk to them. And I will say this space, this time, it was very good to me. I highly recommend everyone go to therapy. And I'm not saying go to therapy because you feel like something's wrong with you. I'm just saying go to therapy to talk to somebody. Talk out what you're experiencing. Talk out if it's something that made you slightly uncomfortable that, a coworker or an advisor or a boss said to you. Talk out those things because, when you experience things that cause disruption in you, there's a reason. And disruption can be very evident disruption, right? Like, it causes knots in your stomach, causes you to get angry. Or it could also be really subtle disruption in that, it's just a moment where you're like, this is not what I'm used to. So yes, I highly recommend therapy for people, all people. It's worth it.